You right now. Check it out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Ivan de Prume here with Metalopolis. Guess who I have on the phone with me right now? Spider.
I don't know, man. I haven't talked to you in forever. It's amazing. I didn't know you added radio DJ to your resume. That's amazing.
You know what? It just fell on my lap.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations. It's exciting.
Well, thank you. You know what? I got to congratulate you with Powerman 5000. I can't believe you. This is awesome. This is great, man. How did this whole thing start?
Well, God, it started a long time ago. I mean, back in the day when you were playing White Zombie. Yeah, I mean, this was like, I used to live back in Boston, and, I'm in L.A. now, but we started the band in Boston in the early 90s and did it the old-fashioned way, just like you guys did, playing in front of 10 people at the crappiest club in town, and then those 10 people turned into 20, and then 20 turned into 50, and then eventually some, sleazy record label guy said they want to give you some money and made some records, and here we are, God, years later and still doing it. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, man. I'll never forget the good old days, man, when we used to, we were doing some shows. You actually came on tour with us out, we did like a Midwest tour.
I do tell people about it. I drove the van. And I remember there are a couple of great stories about that. I remember driving the van for you guys, and at one point the brakes didn't work. So it was like this amazing, like, death-defying, turn off of a freeway, off the off-ramp, and just, like, frantically, like, pumping the brakes, like, please stop before we crash. And then I remember that, and I remember we stayed at Steve Albini's house. In Chicago. He wasn't there, but we stayed there. And that was the show you guys played with, it was White Zombie and Urge Overkill in like this little club in the middle of nowhere, like in front of, 20 people. It's just amazing where, people don't understand like the journey that you go on when you start a band,
I know, because when it hits big, they think you're a brand new band.
Yeah, they think that you started the band.
They hear about it.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, that's the thing. I've been doing this forever, and, still you get new fans every day and people just thinking that you're this new band. But that's cool, too, because then you get that new crop of fans, that it's all new to them, and they get to discover the catalog and the old videos and stuff. So
right. You guys are actually going to be playing up in Portland soon.
Yeah, I think so. We always try to hit Portland. It's always a great town. It's a great rock city, you know what I mean? I love that area up there, that Portland, Seattle, then we hit up in Vancouver, and we're going out for the month of June and just doing it right, man. The record came out, the new record came out this past October, so we've been sort of doing sporadic tours to support the album, and it's been great, man. Like I said, it's like, I still get, it's cool because we get this great mix of crowd where we get the guy who saw us, on Ozfest in '97, who's like the diehard old school fan, but then we get the 13-year-old kid that just discovered us on YouTube yesterday, you know what I mean? So it makes for a pretty cool show,
Absolutely. So what's the name of the new album right now?
It's called Somewhere on the Other Side of Nowhere.
How did you come up with that name?
The band's always been like that kind of weird, futuristic science fiction kind of vibe, and that just sounded like a great science fiction novel from the 70s or something, And it's like what it feels like to be in a band. You don't know which end is up and where you are and what day it is, and so.
And you never know what's around the next corner.
Exactly. So this new album is really cool, man, because it's kind of a return to the sound that I guess we became most famous for, which is that sort of mix of metal and electronica and futuristic sound. And we've even got the band, like at a certain point in the live show, the guys in the band come out with these badass robot warrior masks on and stuff. We're just like, it's just a great excuse to never grow up and just keep doing the same nonsense that we've always done,
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Here's a brand new track from them right now. Show Me What You Got, and I bet you can see them perform this Thursday at the Hawthorne Theater, Powerman 5000. Woo! Powerman 5000 with Show Me What You Got. Now, Ivan, last week when he was in L.A., he had an opportunity to catch up with Spider from Powerman 5000. Here's part 2 of that interview.
Now, because I know you were always doing something musically. Even back in the day, you were doing some rap thing. Like when I first met you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's sort of how Powerman became. It was like me wanting to make music but not knowing any musicians, so I bought like a drum machine, and I could never sing, so I'd always just kind of I guess you call it rapping, but it was more just like speaking. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so,
right.
But then I missed that live band vibe. You know, because I was also at the same time a total punk rock kid who loved, you know, Black Flag and all that kind of stuff. So it was sort of like a bringing together of that weird rap thing I was doing, and then bringing in live musicians. And I mean, you got to remember too, this is before anyone heard of Rage Against the Machine or any of those bands.
Right. No, I know. You know. I remember back in the day, you were like, I was like, man, that's cool, because I grew up listening to rap music. I love all that old stuff, you know, Run DMC, and then I heard you doing that. I was like, whoa, man, this is cool. And then you've got Powerman 5000 together. I'm like, yeah, right, go.
Yeah, no.
You know, I like the name Spider. How did the name Spider come about?
You know, it's funny. That actually, in a weird way, Rob had a little bit to do with that, because well, before I started Powerman, I had a short-lived band I tried to start called Spider Baby, you know, and that fell apart in like 2 weeks. But the Spider thing just could have stuck, and I think it was actually may have been on your first record, the Psycho Head Blowout. I think Rob he's like, thanks to MC Spider, and so yeah, so the Spider thing just kind of stuck over the years and just never went away, you know.
That is cool, man. You know, I was always wondering, like, because you and Rob grew up together, and you know, like, I got my brother and we did like horror movies together, and I remember back in the day, Rob used to say, you guys did like home movies at the graveyard around the corner from your house up there in Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we lived... And
he would always, like, be asleep. He'd fall asleep and wake up the next morning in the graveyard.
Well, we lived about, you know, like maybe a block or two from a cemetery, and so that was like our playground. You know, like we didn't have like a city park where you go and play on the jungle gym. You know, so we would go, like if we wanted to throw a football around or a frisbee, you go to the cemetery. You know? So yeah, the graveyard was like our playground. So it might have a lot to do with the way we ended up, I suppose, that we spent most of our time like playing on top of dead people. But that was it, man. And then we've got little Super 8 cameras, and we'd go out and film weird and, you know, just do our thing.
You know, it's like, because my brother and I, you know, we grew up shooting our own home movies, and I always thought that was cool how you guys are kind of similar. Because, you know, my brother and I, we would get the kids in the neighborhood, we'd throw dummies off the roof and scream, you know, give people heart attacks, you know. And I had gangsters around my neighborhood used to jump me all the time. I thought they were super cool because they were tough and everything. And I actually had them come in my, you know, do the horror movie with us. And we had the killer, like, beat them up and everything. But then they went back to my house while we were shooting in the park, and they stole all my TV, my VCR, and everything. I was like, okay, there you go, man. That's what you get for the gangbangers and stuff. I'm crazy like that.
Oh, my God. That's life in Brooklyn, right? I mean,
life in Brooklyn, man. So now, where are you living at? You're in L.A.?
I'm in L.A. now. Yeah, I actually moved out here, like, 12 years ago, right when we signed to DreamWorks Records back in the day. I came out and decided to relocate out here, and just have been out here ever since, man.
So now you're on the road, and how long are you gonna be out for?
This is a short tour. We're just going out for 4 weeks, just the month of June. Then we come back, and I think we hit the road again in October. So. You know, I structure the tour is different than, you know, it used to be you'd go out and not be home for 11 months, you know what I mean? You'd never get off the road. But these days, I'll go out for a month, come home for a month, go out for a month, you know, just kind of break it up a little bit. So, because I got other stuff going on. So, you know, you know how it is these days. It used to be you could just be in a band and that was it. Now you got to have like 8 other projects happening at the same time.
What other projects you got going on?
Well, I've been diving into the TV world and developing some TV shows, and just sold a show to MTV that we're working on. So we just shot a pilot for them. So stuff like that. And then I also do this cool thing. There's this website called fearnet.com, and it's like 24-hour horror movie website where you can go and watch horror movies for free. And so I'm on there as well, like doing some hosting and interviewing like directors and actors of all the new horror movies. So just like doing a bunch of stuff, man. Just staying busy and just trying to do cool stuff, you know.
Well, that's how you have to be, man. You're staying busy, you know. It keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. It's Spider 1, Powerman 5000. Pick up their record somewhere on the other side of nowhere. And you can catch Powerman 5000 at the Hawthorne Theater on June 3rd. So you bet.